Hi everyone, good evening and welcome back to the first video of 2017. Happy New Year everyone. I'm so excited to start 2017 with a banging, cracking good story, and so today's review is one of my personal favourite stories, and it is just a classic story which I absolutely love to bits. It's basically a Doctor Who story mixed with a James Bond thriller, and you probably know the story which I'm talking about. And so let's kick off 2017 with the review on The Enemy of the World. Just a magnificent, trailblazing, fantastic, special thriller story. I can't say much great things about it, but we're going to get everything into about the whole who wrote it or how they did a good job, the direction of it, the actors, the characters, the plot lines, and especially the whole story itself. And this is the only story which doesn't contain a monster in it from season 5. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's kick off 2017 with a bang with the review on The Enemy of the World, written by David Whittaker, the same writer who wrote The Evil of the Daleks, The Power of the Daleks, The Crusade and The Age of Destruction. Just a magnificent writer. Recovered and restored, a classic Patrick Troughton adventure. The TARDIS lands on an Australian beach in the 21st century. But this is no seaside holiday. Within minutes, the Doctor, Jamie and Victoria are under attack. They soon discover that the Doctor bears a startling resemblance to leader Salamander, a would-be dictator intent of world domination. Before long, the Doctor and his companions are plunged into a dangerous game of espionage, intrigue and deceit as they face off against the enemy of the world. And for the majority of people's opinions, they would probably prefer the Web of Fear over this when it was found in 2013, because the Web of Fear and the Enemy of the World were found in 2013, and many people really preferred the Web of Fear over the Enemy of the World because of its biggest reputation of all, and many people remember it to be a really fantastic story, but many people really forgotten about the reputation of the Enemy of the World, and not many people have found it that it was the most underrated story of all time in Doctor Who history. Never seen for 45 years, but now finally we have the DVD, and I can tell you that I disagree with their views on why the Web of Fear is so brilliant. I'm going to do that in another review, but I'm going to tell you why I prefer The Enemy of the World over the Web of Fear. I have one pretty good reason why I do, and that is Patrick Troughton is one of my favourite actors, and in this he shows that he is such a versatile actor. He's literally playing 3 roles in this. He's playing the Doctor as very lively, very energetic, having so much fun as possible in the story, very lively. And then he's playing Salamander, very corrupted, very power hungry, evil, very malicious in some cases. And you've got the Doctor pretending to be Salamander, which you have his kind of nervous reaction to becoming and impersonating Salamander. He sometimes stutters in his lines when he's becoming a bit too nervous when he's facing an authoritative figure like Bruce or Bennick or Giles Kent, for example. So he does get quite nervous when he's talking to either one of those authoritative figures. But I think that Patrick Troughton, my gosh, does a fantastic job on doing impersonation of Salamander, but also being the Doctor and Salamander at the same time. This is just a magnificent story, and I think the star of the show, of the story really, is Patrick Troughton himself. Every single time when there's a scene with Salamander, the Doctor, or the Doctor pretending to be Salamander, there is no way that you are bored of this story. I am just so happy to just have this DVD because I really rate this story so high. I give this story a 10 out of 10 for many reasons. One, it doesn't have a single monster in it, which is a good thing because it makes us feel that we can more focus around the characters, and especially the characters are the main point of this story. There are so many fascinating characters I like about this, especially Giles Kent. He was the most mysterious as well. I really like this bold, manipulative character when talking to the Doctors at the start of of the story at the start of the episode 1. He was very manipulative on how you can impersonate to be Salamander and almost, you know, take his place as becoming ruler of, or the leader of, well, no, Patrick Troughton wasn't going to accept on becoming the leader on, you know, to kill Salamander and basically to take control of the world and, you know, save it from being destroyed by Salamander's, you know, evil plans of using natural destruction and, you know, natural disasters to conflict destruction on the entire earth, making him so supreme, of becoming the supreme dictator of the whole world, gaining supreme power. So that was literally the whole plan that Salamander had in his head, on wanting to have complete domination of the whole world, and I can see that. But I think Giles Kent wanted the same thing too, but he was more of a criminal. I mean, the Salamander at the start was more as a beneficial figure, really provided people food from when they were, you know, starving, and so Salamander was almost seen as the saviour of the world, really, providing loads of people. There was loads of people in the world but not enough food, and so Salamander provided food for them and it was seen as the saviour of the world, and so he was very popular, whereas Giles Kent, he was very less popular, and so he kind of had, you know, this kind of thing for Salamander, that he wanted to destroy Salamander and take his place as leader, as we found out in episode 6, where Giles Kent in episode 1, he was really, you know, wanted to join alliances with the Doctor in order to, you know, find out what Salamander is up to and what his plans are for the whole domination of the whole world. And then in episode 6, Astrid finally finds out on that Giles Kent and Salamander were all in it together. They were working as a team to conquer the entire world, but Giles Kent wanted the whole world for himself, not Salamander, and so he wanted to kill Salamander in order to take the Earth for himself. That's what he wanted, and so I thought that Giles Kent was such a great character, a very nice character. He was almost a very ally for the Doctor when he was trying to infiltrate to get to the research centre where Salamander was going according to plan, with his plans to cause natural disasters and to cause the whole world to go paranoid under all of these weird circumstances. So yeah, he was a very mysterious character. And talking with the characters, I think every single character in this played a really special role. Bruce, I think this character was so bold, and so he has such a big authoritative figure when talking to any soldier or to any character. He was morally seen as the second in command senior officer of Salamander's security guards, and so whenever he talked to Salamander, he almost felt kind of nervous when he was almost trying to question him. But Salamander doesn't like to be questioned by his own security. He hates being interrogated, and so he really kind of, you know, shouts and, you know, insults his, you know, security guards for being so stupid. And I can't blame him, but he just wants everything to go according to his plan, and nobody is to doubt him of what his predictions are going to be like. And so Salamander was seen as the key figure, and no one was to blackmail or underestimate his power. And so you have no idea what Salamander is capable of. But I think the acting was just superb from Salamander, or Patrick Troughton, should I say. Just magnificent acting, and just played the role of Salamander so brilliantly. I just completely didn't identify if that was the real Doctor or Salamander himself. I couldn't identify his acting because his acting was so brilliantly. Oh wow. Other characters which I quite liked, Faria, I think I quite liked her character, which was almost like that she was just a servant of Salamander, but she also hated Salamander so much as Giles Kent, of what Salamander was like blackmailing her and, you know, putting her in a position where she had to serve Salamander as her food, as his food taster almost. And so talk about a food taster, basically of all the things that he makes, all the food, you know, the food he, you know, comes up with, he needs a food taster in order to see if the food is poisonous or drinks are poisonous. And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of drinking involved. I know Salamander drinks quite a lot, but also there was another character which I felt that sort of had a weak link, Federin, which almost felt as a very nervous character. He was very nervous from the start, very agitated, and he was like saying to Salamander, I can't do this, I can't assassinate, you know, Dennis. And so basically he was so nervous, and I could see his personality that he just didn't really have the guts and have the contention to inflict murder on a human being, and so he failed drastically and disobeyed Salamander's orders. But Salamander, this is what really intrigued me of Salamander's personality. Salamander was like, "Oh, you stupid idiots." No, he wasn't like that. He was very calm and very very caring for his friend. He was like, "No, don't worry, my friend. You did your best, and that was the main thing you did." So that was really great about his personality of Salamander. Almost like a sinister way of being so nice to him, treating him as, "No, you did the right thing, but just you did your best, and that was the main thing." And so he just calmed down. "Don't worry about it. Have a drink, man." And then he was really so calm. And so I liked that personality of Salamander. But also in the end, in episode 3. Salamander does give Theron a drink, and full of the poison that he was surely going to inflict into Dennis's dinner, really, to make sure that Alex and Dennis was completely out of the picture from the whole story, which he does get shot in the end in episode 3, I think. And so that was what I mean. Alex Dennis was really a good character. He was almost in league with Astrid and also Giles Kent, almost trying to figure out a way and trying to provide so much evidence against Salamander, and so they can almost overtake his position and, you know, completely stop him from controlling and destroying the world, really. And so I thought his character was really good as well. And also Salamander saw him as a complete traitor, which I almost knew that he was almost like so furious of like, "How am I a traitor to you? I've done my bit." And so Salamander was so authoritative with his actions and his words. It's like, "You traitor!" And so he completely screamed out his head, and I can really see his authoritative figure. Like, he is so great in authority, and nobody can deny him or doubt him for a second, because he's just magnificent. And really, with all natural disasters, I've just believed that with Salamander in control of all these natural disasters, destroying the entire world, you can almost see that he's a real inflicted and crazed madman. Just really a magnificent supervillain, almost a James Bond villain, which you would usually watch in James Bond's movies. So yeah, definitely a James Bond thriller story, which I absolutely adore. Faria, definitely a wonderful actress. I would have to say actor, but she's an actress. She is really great. I really liked her personality of how she hated Salamander, but she really provided some good evidence against Salamander. And though she does get killed off in the end, but I thought her character was very mysterious and very strange at first. And then Theron does get killed off in the end by drinking some, wine or something like that. And then he does get poisoned with the thing he was going to give Dennis for his dinner in order to get Dennis out of the way, out of the picture. But he got, inflicted with poison and basically died, really, from Salamander. And Salamander was like this: "I give you one chance, my friend. One chance." And that was it. That was the really thing I liked about Salamander's personality. Just magnificent. Bennick, I think his character was very sly, very cunning, very malicious. You almost thought that you didn't know what he was going to cook up next. He was so cunning towards the whole soldiers. It was like, "Shoot to kill. I have some important news for you." And so like that kind of personality and his tone of voice really set the tone. He was almost like the very mysterious character which you have to keep your eye on all the time. Just magnificent acting from him. And he does return in Doctor Who in a later episodes, which I will explain, hopefully in some point in the new year. But he is really good, and I like the way that he impersonated Victoria and Jamie. But I think the one thing that really gave the whole thing away was really that in episode 5, where Bruce was trying to gain confidence from the Doctor pretending to be Salamander, really just saw the whole story, bringing that Bruce can actually end Salamander's evil reign of controlling the entire world. And I really just thought that perhaps maybe Patrick Troughton is such a really great actor, and he can almost make Bruce as a very, to trust in him and to gain his confidence. And so Bruce and the Doctor were trying to infiltrate the research centre, and they found Victoria and Jamie, which they thought that it was Salamander who was trying to interrogate them. And Victoria and Jamie were bringing on all of this good evidence or information for the Doctor to convince Bruce that Salamander is a crazed madman. And so the Doctor completely wanted them to give them all the information that they wanted. that what he wanted in order for the proof, so that Bruce can use it against Salamander in order to overthrow him and completely have him under arrest. And so that was the point that Patrick Troughton, or the Doctor, wanted to impersonate Salamander, and he did a massive brilliant job of trying to impersonate him, although with the nervous lines and kind of stutters in sometimes, but he was really magnificent. Another thing we have to mention before this video ends, we have to mention about the people in the underground cavern, which I really do like. The people in the underground cavern really thought that the whole surface on the Earth was contaminated with radiation, that they couldn't go up there because it was so inflicted with radiation and stuff like that, and natural disasters. And so with them controlling the whole of the natural disasters, they completely inflicted damage and destruction onto the entire world. And then I think one of his Colin, I think his character's called, he was so tempted and was so agitated in order to get up to the surface to see the sun again. And I really liked his character. Although he was a very strong character in episode 5 and 6 and 4, he was really good, but he was very agitated just to see the whole sky again. He was stuck under the whole, research center, or the underground cavern where all the scientists were making all the natural disasters. They were all under there for 5 years, and Salamander had lied to them all this time about there have been, radiation above the surface, and you cannot go up there until we can produce more natural disasters to make sure that this radiation is no more. But if they do that, they're going to destroy the entire world. And then Swan, I think his name is, he completely, showed this piece of paper to Salamander and was like, "You lied to us! There are people on the surface living peaceful lives, and you lied to us, thinking I've been made with radiation above the surface. You lied to us!" And so he really just gets the whole point to Salamander, that you lied to us. And what are you going to do to the humans all of there, since we've been causing all these natural disasters? They're not fit to live. And that Salamander was like talking this crazy and sinister accent, like, "You're murdering them, you murderer." And so from that point on, you really just saw out. He completely saw through Salamander's evil plan to use the natural disasters in order to conflict terror onto the Earth and have complete world domination. And that was his whole plan for the whole time. And I think his character, well, Swan, does get killed off in the end, but he does reveal Salamander's secret, and I really like that. And the whole underground cavern and the music just fits so well into the whole story. I just believe that all the characters, and especially the writing from David Whittaker, just a magnificent James Bond kind of thriller mixed with a Doctor Who story, just magnificent. And especially with the direction I went through, directed by Barry Letts, a future producer in the Jon Pertwee era. He was magnificent with the whole direction of the whole cast and actors, with the whole story. He completely directed in what he wanted to become like a James Bond thriller. He just absolutely stole the show with his amazing direction. The direction was just spot on. And I just have to say that every single character was so fantastic, especially Astrid was so fantastic. Almost like a very female kind of role with her, potentialness to overtake Salamander's, evilness, but also stop him as well. And also Giles Kent. Giles Kent was pretty good, but then in the end he almost fought as a sinister kind of character who wanted to end Salamander's reign of controlling the whole world, but he wanted the whole world for himself. And that's what I really liked about this whole story. He was magnificent. And I think the key actor in this whole story, you probably know who it is. Yes, Patrick Troughton himself. Magnificent actor. The way he's such a versatile character, playing the role as the Doctor, Salamander, and the Doctor pretend to be Salamander. Such a massive big opportunity for his role, to see all of the personality comparisons between all of his characters, all the roles he's playing in this story. You can almost see the kind of diversity of characters and personality between all of the roles he's playing. I just absolutely adore that concept. It's just magnificent, and I think the story is a solid, perfect 10 out of 10. Just a magnificent, spectacular James Bond thriller Doctor Who story. I absolutely adore it. And so guys, I hope you enjoyed this review on The Enemy of the World. Please do give a like, share and comment your views on this story. I personally think that this is just a magnificent story, and please tell me your views on this story as well. And so guys, I hope you've enjoyed this first review of 2017, and I hope to look forward to some more fantastic reviews in 2017. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.